So today's video I'm going to be doing a makeup look with a couple of different eyeshadows that I got in the mail recently. I decided the best way for you guys to know if these eyeshadows work or if this is a palette that you want to pick up is just to see the performance of it on the eye. So I'm just going to be jumping into the eyeshadow. I already have my eyebrows on and my base on. It's just time to like start, blending the shadows in. So for today's look, I'm going to be using the adorable Clover palette by Too Faced Cosmetics. They recently came out with 3 new palettes, the white chocolate bar, the chocolate gold bar, and then the Clover palette. And actually all of the proceeds from this palette I believe go to help animals, so that was also one of the main things I was really interested in. And also the packaging is just so cute. You guys can see it, it's so adorable. And this is what the shades look like. They're pretty true to color. I don't think my camera is washing anything out. I'm actually trying out some new Juvia's Place brushes that I got in the mail. So I picked up the teal set, so that's actually what I'm using. I'm just using like this really big tapered brush. And I'm gonna grab quite a lot of Fur Baby, just because I really want that transition shade to help me. So as you guys can see, it's really great in pigmentation. You just want to make sure that you are packing the color on, and then we're gonna blend it out. So far I really like the palette. I think the shadows blend out really well, and I kind of went with more of the colorful shades. I know that some people have been doing like the more neutral shades with like a pop of color, but I really wanted to use like the berries. And I also used a Juvia's Place shadow that I got, so that also kind of helped with like the theme that I was going with. So I go in with different blending brushes. I've kind of applied the shade with that. Then I go in with like a Wet n Wild blending brush. This is part of their regular line, and this brush is only like $1, I think, and it blends the shadows out super well. So if you are on a budget or you're new to makeup, I would definitely recommend that you pick this one up. So I'm just gonna blend that out. Okay, so I'm gonna take Daddy's Heart Me or Daddy's Love Me, but it is this berry shade down here. And what I'm gonna do with this shade is kind of like Fur Baby. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up quite a lot and just like really blend it into my crease. And this Morphe brush works really well. However, I will say sometimes you have to kind of like give it a good pinch for the bristles not to move around so much. It's a natural hair brush, so it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it like frays in the process of like blending. So as you guys can see, I'm kind of like barely blending and just adding like color to it just to build up the intensity. But these shadows are actually really easy to blend, so I find that this isn't like difficult. If it was like something like the ABH subculture or something with just like a lot of pigment, you definitely just want to take your time in building it and blending it. But with these, I can build them up to the intensity that I want, and then just kind of give it a good whirl. So once I have that like overall what can I say, the overall like pigmentation that I want, I'm just gonna take that Wet n Wild brush and just blend. So circular motions and windshield wiper motions, and you can continue to do this until you reach your desired like deepness that you want on your lid. Alright, so after I finish applying that shade, I'm just going to take a little bit more of Daddy's Love Me and applying that into my crease, just because I felt like I lost a little bit of that color when I blended it out with that larger brush. So I'm just going to take the blending brush again and just continue to blend back and forth. Okay, so now I'm going to take the Sigma Blending E36 brush. There's actually a brush that comes in the Juvia's Place set that I feel like really looks like this. I kind of want to try to find it, but I feel like it's going to be hard to... No, I just thought, okay. So yeah, this is the E36 from Sigma, and then this is the Juvia's one. You see how similar they look? So I find that the only thing I like better about the Sigma one is that it's white, so I can know like how much color I'm getting, whereas this one fades more into like a black at the tip, but it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so I'm gonna take this shade right here, and this is from Juvia's Place. This is in the shade called Empress, and I'm just gonna take this shade. It's actually really pigmented. It's a beautiful eggplant, and it's matte. I picked up the whole bundle because I picked it up on Black Friday. Their 10 eyeshadow bundle was like, instead of being like 60 bucks, or I think it's 50 originally, it was on sale for like 30. So I was like, all right, this is my time to pick it up. And there's only 2 matte shades, which is very unfortunate because I feel like they work really well. But their shimmers are really nice. I used one of their shimmers in the inner corner just because I wanted to use, you know, the shades. And they're a really nice pan size. I feel like for the amount that you get, especially for 30, I feel like it was a really great deal. So anyway, with Empress and that Sigma brush, I'm going to be putting that into my crease all the way from the inner corner to the outer corner. So you're going to want to make sure you're really defining that crease. So when we go in with the concealer to do the half cut crease, it just looks really like dramatic, and you can see the color all throughout. So I'm going to take that M514 brush again and just kind of blend it out to make sure that it's all diffused together and there's not like a very harsh line. I always have to make sure I blend. Just because when I do this eye, it was literally so dark in my room because I wasn't using the lights. So when I do use the lights, it kind of just throws me off a little bit. So, yeah. Okay, so once I have the overall color in my crease, it's time to clean it up. So I'm going to be taking this Vanity Planet concealer brush. I showed it to you guys in my last video, but it's so pretty. It's so pretty. But it's so useful just because it's really great for cutting out your crease. I'm going to take my handy dandy Pro Conceal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start from the inner corner and just start doing my half cut crease. But I feel like I've done this many times, so I'm just going to go ahead and speed it up. Also, a really quick tip that I do want to say is to work in sections. Don't feel like you have to just do one quick drag. If that works for you, that's great. But if you're having trouble doing a half cut crease, I would definitely recommend just doing small little steps. Just because if you go too high, yeah, concealer is like not that easy to cover up with just eyeshadow, and it's gonna just gunk up and look really messy. So it's just better if you know, take baby steps. And if you feel like you have to pick up more concealer, you can. I just thought Spoiled was such a cute shade, so this is a shade called Spoiled. It is this shade over here, and it's so pretty. So if you are picking up the palette, you can definitely just see for yourself if you want to use it with Fix Plus. The best thing I recommend is for you to pick up as much product in your brush and then wet it, so that way you can get a lot of pigmentation rather than just wetting the brush and then ruining the pan, because it does have like almost like a layer, like an overlay, or I don't know how to explain it, but it has like this weird like texture after you wet the pan, so I just recommend that. But I'm just gonna go ahead, and since I have a tacky base, which is my concealer, I'm just gonna pick up that shadow and apply it to my lid, right where we cut our crease. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take some more of Empress, and I'm going to add it to the outer corner just to make sure that there's no harsh line where I added that shadow. And you don't have to do this very deep or add a lot. It's just to have kind of like something on your brush, but you don't have to go like ham. Use a makeup wipe and just make a line just to kind of clean it up. But it doesn't have to be like anything dramatic. I'm gonna go ahead and do my lashes and I will be back. This was the look that I came up with the Too Faced Clover palette. Overall, I really like it. I definitely think it's going to be a palette that I'm going to keep in my routine. I really want to get to play with some more of the shades. So yeah, there's a lot of different colors in this palette and I think it's definitely very fun. Again, if you know, love the cause and you love the packaging and you also love the colors, I think it's great. Like, it's so stinking cute. The packaging is definitely what got me. Even though I am really glad that these shadows performed really well, I definitely think that if you guys do want a makeup look using the other two chocolate bar palettes, you guys can let me know, or any other chocolate bar or bar palette that they came out with. Also, for the Juvia's Place shadows that I used, I just used Empress and then this shade called Comet, I believe, and I used Comet for my inner corner and a little bit on my cheekbones. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful, and let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to pick up this palette or if it's something that you're going to skip out on. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up, as it helps me out a lot and it lets me know that you guys are finding these useful and you guys like my videos, as well as turn on the bell notification. I will see you guys all in my next one. Bye.